Opened in 1964, Phoenix Raceway hosted IndyCar races for more than 40 consecutive years and later added the Copper World Classic for Silver Crown and midget cars in 1977. From there, it was only a matter of time until NASCAR brought the Cup Series here for the first time in 1988. Alan Kowicki's first career win came in that race, and he celebrated with the now infamous Polish victory lap that many drivers still utilize today. Though its history, the 1 mile oval has always been defined by its asymmetrical turns and dogleg, which was implemented in part because of the natural terrain of the area. With different progressive banking at each end of the track as well, Phoenix is often a favorite track for drivers for the challenges that they face in setting up their cars for maximizing performance. Although its backstretch dogleg already made it one of the most unique ovals in America, the track's latest renovation, which was completed in 2018, made it even more unique. Start-finish line was moved between the former Turn 2 and the dogleg, fundamentally changing how drivers would approach each lap. While the former front stretch grandstand was removed in favor of expanding seating closer to the new start-finish line, the shift also led to a reconfiguration of pit road. This layout made its NASCAR Cup Series debut in November of 2018 and began hosting NASCAR Championship Weekend with the 2020 season. Tonight, it's race number 3 of the Noble Racing Series. It's coming up next here on HBR TV. Race details for tonight, the Phoenix 125 Noble Racing Series, race number 3. 72-degree ambient temperature, a very low humidity day, 25%, partly cloudy skies, almost no wind here at the Speedway. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the broadcast booth by, well, my partner in crime here, Eric Dotson. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, Steve, ready to get rolling. How about you?
A little bit more of the same, as qualifying, I think, is already underway, so we're just going to get right to it. Jump down trackside here. See Neil Quick on the Speedway for his qualifying run here. Just started, just took the green flag. We're underway.
This is kind of the shortest track we've been to this season, so I'm sure these guys are going to be anxious to see how this big field does on a shorter track.
We'll certainly have to keep an eye on things and see how they can make it work tonight. Big field again. We've got, I don't even know, 40 maybe at least. As Zach Millett goes P1 on his first lap, 26.81. We'll stick here with Neil Quick, see what he can lay down in his second lap, see if it's faster. Don't really know if first or second was quicker, as Chris Goins goes at 27.03, puts himself front row for now. Quick down the backstretch here for his final time. Brian McCann goes P2, Brian Rose P3, all three drivers in the top 3 below 27 seconds as Neil Quick crosses the stripe while he goes 26.94, third quick for Neil Quick. Chris Goins finishes up 27.049, did not go faster that time. Mark Thomas, Thomas trouble off, looks like turn number 2. Damage on the number 50 machine, only one lap in, 27.253. The lap time for Mark Thomas. Josh Thomas also in trouble. HBR entry, new to the fold as far as asphalt racing is concerned. Certainly fast on dirt, not the case so far tonight. Tough start to his qualifying. Mark Truxell on the Speedway. We've talked about him a bunch this season already. Eric, certainly one to watch throughout the course of the season. You want to talk about Mr. Consistency, it's going to be the 5 of Mark Truxell.
Absolutely. Mark is always running up near the front. If he's not, he's on his way, and you can better bet that he'll be there towards the end.
Truxell across the stripe, first lap, 20th quick, 27.286.
One thing with Mark is he's not necessarily always a great qualifier, but I think he just makes the in-race adjustments in order to move the truck towards the front.
100%. Speaking of moving towards the front, the 84 effort has knocked Millett off the pole with a 26.80 versus Millett's 81. Truxell crosses the line. His second time around is faster, 27.21. Channing Ballou finishes up his first and only lap, a 26.96. That's all he's going to be good for.
Yeah, I think he will receive an EOL. Is that correct?
I believe so. I'll have to double check that. I didn't necessarily get a chance to look at pre-race announcements tonight. Chris Mathis on the speedway. New colors for the 54 truck. I think we were black and green last week. This week, well, black, red, a little bit of white. Matches those no bull colors nicely. Did you see the tailgate on Chris Mathis? If you guys haven't seen it, it says, "We be cheating." Cross the line, Chris Mathis, second lap. Where does he land? Still 6 quick. Does not go faster. 27.126. If he's cheating, it ain't cheating good enough. That may wrap it up here for everybody in the session. 5-minute quali session followed by a 5-minute session to, they call it a warm-up, to DQ guys. Really, we've only got 42 total in the session tonight. I think 41 will take the green. Vincent Short categorized, but he will be here as an admin role only. It looks like Drew Blaze did not get a Q run in either, so that's an interesting tidbit to keep an eye on. But with that, we're going to step out, get a break out of the way here before we get to the green flag and our starting grid. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Like Millet might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. contact, and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Noble Racing Series, round number 3 here, the Phoenix 125. Warm-up, pre-race warm-up underway. Something that we do over here, just kind of works both ways, gives us an opportunity to make some final adjustments if need be, whether it's DQ guys that didn't make the top 43, run some ads for the broadcast. Just works out well across the board, and also gives some guys to get out of qualifying mode and into race mode here, run some laps for at least a few minutes before we take the green flag. So Eric, I know we were talking in the break about our little friendly wager that we continuously have each week, just to picking drivers. It's not really a wager because we don't really have any money on the line, but we always pick. Let's get the picks out of the way. We talked about it in the break. Like I said, I'm going to go with Chris Mathis here. Who's your pick, or do you have one yet?
Chris is always good. That's who I picked last week. Obviously, it didn't work too good for me as he got involved in some incidents. But I'm going to go with the 2 and Neil Quick.
Definitely a good pick. Again, with a last name like Quick, well, you better be. Millett goes P1 in the end of the warm-up session. Knocks Drew Blaze by about a 10.5, maybe a tick more. Only driver into the 26-second range. But here we are. We're into the grid here. Let's take a look at our starting grid here. The Phoenix 125 Noble Racing Series on the pole position. Well, it's the 84, Chris Mefford, out of the IROC Series to his outside by 3/1000ths of a second. Missed it by that much. It's the 315 as Zach Millett. He starts second. Brian McCann with McCann Racing. The number 3 starts in the 3rd spot. Jeremy Parrish with Speed Clinic. The number 24 rolls from the 4th spot. 5th starting position, it's Eric's pick. The 2 with Quick Esports, it's Neil Quick. Chris Mathis, also of Speed Clinic, my pick for the night. Number 54 starts P6. Channing Blue in the 9. He'll roll from the 7th starting spot with Brian Rose. Holler Boys Racing's number 89 starting 8th. Chris Goins with Right Turn Racing. The number 28 starts 9th with Brian's brother Kevin starting 10th spot from IROC as well. Logan Keys out of the state of Florida starts the 11th position, the number 43. And there's David Bradford, the number 46, rolls 12th. Blair Patterson, the 91, starts 13th with good old Keaton Burnett, the number 26, rolling from the 14th spot with Lone Star Racing. Matt Goodell, the 15 starts, well, the 85 starts 15th with Pony Express. Brandon Mefford, the 83 starts 16th. Pat Colby, 17th. Jason Spear, 18th. 19th, Thomas McMullen. Will Hewitt, he's going to start 20th. Mark Truxell, 21st. Jesse Redding, 22nd. Alfie Charon Jr., 23rd. Mark Thomas, 24th. Justin Johnson, 25th. Brian Torsch, 26th. Eric Beadle, 27th. 28th, Doug Wysocki. 29th, Brian Rupert. 30th, Alan DeFries. Jamie Kerr is 31st. Josh Thomas, 32nd. Mike Fahey, 33rd. Noah Rainwater, the 05 from Thunderclap, 34th. Joe Tucker, 35th. And Eddie Rose, the number 88, starts 36th. Carson Conway, the 72, is 37th. Tommy D'Angelo, an old SCAR veteran, starts 38th. Chris Elliott, 39th. Steve Cherrick, 40th. Drew Blaze, fast in the warm-up. He's going to be 41st. Vincent Short, categorized 42nd, but will not start as he is the admin tonight. Just like that, green flag is out. We are underway here from Phoenix Raceway. Brian McCann with a quick jump to the front, but we got a battle already between himself, Neil Quick, and Zach Millett exiting turn number 1. Oh, the door closes. They were 3 wide and nice and tight, but everybody gets through. Millett is going to take the top spot for now down the back straightaway.
These guys are all over the place trying to get that track position as early as possible right now.
Glad we caught that when we did. I thought we were going to get 2 laps of caution before the green flag. We almost didn't see the green come out, but luckily we're good. Millett still out front. Brian McCann up to P2. Neil Quick drops to the 5th position here just after a lap and a half or so.
Caution
Caution on the speedway. Tommy D'Angelo in his return. Not good here for D'Angelo. He is in an issue already. The number 32 in trouble. Pat Colby and Tommy D'Angelo both involved in this one.
Yeah, and if you didn't get a lot of practice here, I got in there and ran with these guys. The first few laps, until these tires get a little bit of heat on them, the truck's slick.
Let's see what happened here with D'Angelo. There's a slow truck down low. Looks like it might have been the 22 of Josh Thomas. And the 43 really just runs into the right rear of D'Angelo. .43 is Logan Keys. I don't know if Tommy just checked up a little earlier than he had expected. Again, Josh Thomas was way low on the start. I don't know if that was by design or what happened with the 22. Don't think he was necessarily involved in this. Watching it again, you see Tommy D'Angelo, the number 32 truck, slides up the racetrack. You got Josh Thomas way low, and I think it was Mark Thomas there in the 50. He was checked up pretty good, too. I don't know if Tommy was just being precautionary there, checked out of the throttle where Logan Keys didn't anticipate that to happen, maybe didn't see through the truck in front of him to the traffic ahead. Just barely missing Josh Thomas there. Just a little bit of rear damage for the 32, but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
Catching up on the stream chat, we've got Haley in the chat. I think Haley was watching from Sweden, if I remember correctly, from the other night. That's awesome. It makes us international tonight. Vincent Short, of course, in as an admin tonight. Keaton Burnett in the race. Judy Tate cheering on Mark Truxell in the 5. Of course, Eric Dotson up here in the booth. Neil Quick in the pits here. Just topping off the tanks. Pit.
I don't know if this is necessarily a track you want to give up the track position on.
I'm not sure.
There are a few doing it.
What's going on here? But Neil has been in the pits now that's a 17-second stop with no tires. Does he have some damage? He's got
left side damage. Yeah, on the
left
driver's
front
side.
Yeah. Haley says, yes, greetings from Sweden. That is so cool. I love it when you pop in here, Haley. We don't know you. We don't know why you're watching, but we certainly do appreciate it. Really cool that you're here making this an international broadcast tonight. But yeah, Neil Quick, definitely left front damage already. Not sure what that has come from. That may have, I don't know. Did you see anything on the start, Eric? I didn't.
I did not see anything with that. It doesn't look too bad, so I don't think it's going to affect him.
No, I mean, arrow-wise, I think it was a smart move. We're only 5 laps in. He can come down and get some work done on it, but it does put him in the back of the pack here. Maybe with some guys that he doesn't necessarily want to be racing around, but unfortunately, that's the hand he's dealt right now. He's going to have to put up with it.
Yeah, and I know talking to these drivers earlier, once you get settled down and get in a run, it's hard to pass here from my understanding.
Drew Prowl in the stream chat, here to watch Fahey be the show warrior. Usually guys are here to watch Fahey wreck, but I guess that's the new mantra tonight.
It's trending, Fahey to the front.
Getting ready for the green flag here. Quite a ways to go. I know the pace car, I think, is already pulled off the racing surface field, working 3 and 4. You see Barney's got the green flag in hand, ready to get waving. A little anxious, I'm assuming. We'll see. Field working off turn 4 here in through green this flag. Dog leg. Green flag is out. Cactus goes green. So does the field. We're back underway here from Phoenix Raceway.
Looks like everybody's off to a clean start so far as they battle almost 3 wide going into 1.
Another caution, though. Looks like Doug Wysocki involved in this one. 34 machine in trouble, as is the 47. Almost took out the pace car on that as well.
Ooh, look like Doug may have some pretty severe nose damage there.
Could be Doug Wysocki, Chris Elliott, Josh Thomas, Pat Colby again. Let's see what we can see here on the replay. From Rattlesnake Hill, I guess. We'll go with that one. 29, Chris Elliott. That's the white truck on the bottom. Drew Blaze goes way down, shortcuts the dog leg, but Chris comes up. Doug comes down. They meet in the middle. Chris is going to get clipped. Mark Thomas gets just a piece, maybe a hair of right front damage. The 51 Alfie gets on by. Josh Thomas turns the 47 in trying to get everybody woed up. Just incidental contact there. Looks like everybody stayed out of the wall. So 9 laps in, we've had a couple of cautions early. Hopefully these guys can get things squared away, get into a long run, into a bit of a rhythm. Millett still your leader. Paris runs P2. Then it's the 9 of Channing Ballou. Channing up 4 spots already. Then Brian McCann, Chris Mathis, Chris Goins, Blair Patterson, Brian Rose, Kevin McCann, Matt Goodell. That's the top 10. Keane Burnett, might be a long race. Hope everyone has a beer. Well, I won't lie to anybody, Keaton. I'm sitting here with the Genesee Brewery Spring Bock. Even though it was like 8 degrees, not even just a couple of days ago. Spring is around the corner. Getting ready for it.
Okay, and Texan and pacing.
I still don't know how guys do it. I can't even hit the mic button and talk while I'm racing without causing problems or slowing my lap times. Could just be the ADD. I don't know. So Zach Millett out in front still, getting under the caution flag. Millett sporting the HBR TV colors tonight, switching it up just a bit. Certainly appreciate the support from the 315. Look at a spoiler. I don't know if you can catch it there, Eric. It says, "I'm just here to watch Fahey wreck." Quote from Tristan Sykes. Of course, he puts my name on it. But
Fahey's in 22nd right now.
Fahey with FMC Aircraft Solutions on his number 16. Pace car lights are off. Should see that pace car peel off here. We do. Now remember, the field has to work the whole backstretch here. The pit entry here is right off of turn number 2. So the field's got to stay formed up 2 by 2 carefully. All the way down the backstretch through 3 and 4 and then take the green flag without the pace car. These guys do a pretty good job with it.
Green flag.
Green flag waves. We're back underway from Phoenix Raceway.
Millett with a nice little jump. That allowed Blue to get a little bit of a jump too on the 24 Paris. Blue and Paris continue to battle. I think Blue's going to get it, and he does right there.
Field completes lap number 12, starts 13 after the restart. Millett still with the lead, but Ballou closing in fast, looking to the inside, down into turn number 1. Might have position on the 315. He does. Can he drive out of turn number 2? Might be a drag race down the back straightaway. Ballou tucks back in behind. Not to be this time around, but maybe one more. Ballou may have a sniff at the top spot in just another lap.
Blue put on a dominating performance last week, and looks like he's caution's out.
Yellow on the field. Jamie Kerr now involved in this one, the number 75 HBR TV entry. Let's get a look, see what happened here with the 75. Put us under our third caution of the day. So Jamie was a little loose out of the corner in turn 2. Lost the momentum down the straightaway. Opened the door for Mark Truxell. Truxell goes to the bottom, or does he? No. Jamie drives down to the bottom. He gets a piece of the 10 of Justin Johnson. Now, the way that truck reacted, it looked like it could have been netcode related. Let's back this one up.
That's what I was about to say. That may have been some netcode there.
Try to see if I can get a better angle on it. Let's watch the tower and see. In fact, here, let's stop it and go on board with Justin Johnson, if I can find the 10 here. We've got an onboard with Johnson on the driver's right. There we go. This ought to help. So Jamie coming down, had a good run on entry. No, there wasn't really a whole lot of netcode there. They definitely made contact.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jamie may have been looking in his mirror and just didn't see the 10 or what was the reasoning.
Get another peek at it. He's definitely much later to the brakes. Yeah, just rub sides there. Door-to-door contact with the 75 and the 10. Jamie Kerr gets the worst end of it. I don't know that Justin had any damage at all. Seems like he got away pretty scot-free on that one. Yeah, right side looks pretty clean. Let's get a quick recap here. Zach Millett, your leader. Channing Ballou is going to restart second. Then it's the 24, Jeremy Paris. Chris Mathis up to P4. Brian McCann 5th. Chris Goins 6th. Brian Rose P7. Blair Patterson's 8th. Kevin McCann, David Bradford, the balance of the top 10. Pace car lights go out, so we're going to go back to the green flag here, lap 18. Then we have 11th, Brandon Mefford. Then Matt Goodell, Keaton Burnett, Jason Spear, Will Hewitt, Thomas McMullen, Justin Johnson, Mark Truxell, Jesse Redding, and Eric Beadle. That's your top 20. So again, just a reminder, got to go all the way down the backstretch here through 3 and 4 before we see the green flag.
I always hated that as a driver. When the pace car ducks, I'm ready to go.
Well, in previous seasons, the rule used to be once the pace car leaves the racing surface, it's fair game.
Green flag.
Except for here, Phoenix.
Green flags out, held out to a little bit of a lead.
Ballou with a not great restart. Paris with a decent one. He tucks in behind Millett. Caution out again. Truxell and Alan DeFries. 71 to DeFries, the 5 of Mark Truxell. Might have multiple drivers involved in this. Brian Torsha, Drew Blaze, Pat Colby, Chris Mefford, Mark Thomas, Eddie Rose. Let's get a look at it. Cautions breed cautions. It seems to be the theme of the night. Joe Tucker down at the bottom, made it 3 wide for a moment. Thomas McMullen drops down to the bottom. Jesse Redding, big time netcode. Redding drove it in there pretty deep. Did not actually make contact. Drew Blaze gets a massive piece of this. He's up on his lid. Truxell right there in the middle of the racetrack. Everybody trying to take evasive action to get around.
Somebody needs to let Mark know that was net code. I can almost imagine how irate Mark is right now.
It was feet of netcode. It wasn't even close. And I honestly think that if it weren't for the netcode, I think Jesse Redding would have had it woed up in time to avoid contact. But man, big time hit for Drew Blaze. Not only sending him up on the right side, he does keep it off the roof. But he does get driven into on the floor on the driver's side while he's on his side.
Looks like he had the smoke too. You never want to see the smoke coming from the engine.
So I think, yeah, Drew Blaze does retire right to pit lane. I don't know if he's got opportunity to fix this or not. But again, keep in mind, no fast repairs in the No Bull Racing League. So once you're out, you are out for good.
I would say if he's got any chance of fixing it, it's going to be 30 minutes.
But that's just it, though. I mean, Drew Blaze is fast. He's got an opportunity. I know there's a lot of really fast guys in here, but you've got to go out and make all the laps that you can. If you can get it fixed and go back out, turn some laps, this race is proving already 20 laps in, we're under our fourth caution, that it could be a race of attrition. You've got guys that are having trouble getting into wrecks, damaging the truck, some significantly, some not so much, but there's positions to be gained if Drew can get out there, even if it's, a half hour, 45 minutes of required repairs. You might still be able to go out and pick up a lap, maybe 2 on the next guy, pick up a spot here or there at the end of the season. Those points could matter.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some close races in the past, our championship races in the past, where, 2 or 3 points meant the difference.
With a really tight field the way that we have had. Again, we started 41 here tonight. Every point's going to make a difference. I know guys get frustrated and they say, I'm done. It's junk. Can't do this, can't do that. But got to look big picture.
Yeah, that's when I raced the IROC. If I was involved in anything, if I could pick up one position, I was back out there. Now, if I couldn't pick up anything, then I parked it.
Keaton Burnett chimes in. I guess he's been in contact with Drew Blaze. He says 31 minutes of required. Certainly chances of winning tonight out the window, but you still got to ask yourself, do I go back out and try to finish this thing off once it's fixed? Just kind of got to look at the standings and see who's out of it. How many spots can you pick up? You want to try and maximize that because you want to take as many points as you can away from each race weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll have to look at it because, as we know, when it's an engine issue like that, he's not going to come back full power. And most of the time, it normally blows, but you are able to get some laps out of it.
So pace car off the racing surface. Working down the back straightaway here once again. Going to take the green flag with lap 23 about to go up on the board. Green flag waves. Good jump for Millet. Paris up top. Not a terrible reaction, but different lane. McCann in behind. Ballou's going to take advantage of that spot. He's going to be in the second spot. See the 54 Mathis trying to roll up into the top 5 as well. Stiff competition here at the front of the field. It's Millet, Ballou, Paris, Brian McCann, Chris Mathis.
Right now, it looks like everybody wants to be on that low side.
Sun continues to set here at Phoenix Raceway, which means the track's going to keep cooling off. Channing Ballou, though, all over Zach Millet here. He seems to be the fastest truck on the racetrack currently. However, Millet does have a faster lap than Ballou, but it's only 0.02 of a second quicker. However, the last time by, Ballou was faster by almost a full 10.
Looks like Millet starts to space him a little bit, and then Blue makes a run and covers it back.
Channing is grabbing a gear into turn 4 already. Big wiggle on corner exit. See if he does it down into turn 1. does. Quickly goes back to fourth, though. Almost like he's experimenting with it. Let's see if he tries it again into turn 3 and 4 this time. Yep. So he's shifting on both ends of the racetrack right now. It certainly seems to be quicker, but is he going to kind of beat up that right rear by getting on the throttle that hard in third gear? Really into the power band there. Right on board.
In-car.
Go ahead, Eric.
I was going to say, do we have an in-car camera with Millet to see what he's doing?
You were like reading my mind. Now we are on board with Zach Millet.
It doesn't look like he's shifting.
Turn 4, he was in fourth
there.
gear, so no shift there. Let's see what he does down into turn 1.
No. He's putting a gap in between them, so, you know, maybe they're not shifting a little faster.
Well, like I said, I mean, with Blue shifting, it does help the truck rotate when you're trying to blow things down, but the alternative to it is you got to be really sensitive, really ginger on the throttle when you try to get back into the gas to not let that truck over-rotate on throttle, because that's what happens. You're running in that third gear, the RPMs are a lot higher, which you're right in that power band for these trucks. So easy to over-rotate it on throttle. We saw it on a corner exit where Blue had to chase it up the racetrack. Cost him some time. It seems to be costing him even more. Certainly fast on the restart, but over the long haul, I don't know if that's the best way to go. Again, I could be wrong. Channing Blue, a much faster driver than I'm capable of. So maybe he knows something that we don't. We'll see what happens throughout the course of this race.
Yeah, talking to a lot of the drivers, they were talking about shifting real late in the runs. I mean, I know we're on lap 30, but a lot of these have been yellow flag laps, so the tires probably are not too bad.
No, we've again, yeah, you're right. 30 laps in here. We've had 4 cautions. It's kind of like the heat cycle, but I don't think they've really gotten up to temp. I mean, they haven't gotten as hot as they really can be throughout the course of a long run as Millet scrapes the right side of the wall on entry.
Millet Blue staying about even right now.
Only a couple of hundredths of a second lap time difference between Millet and Blue the last time by.
I think they have their areas where the other one's faster. If you look at the live timing, I mean, Millet will go up to 8/10 and then all of a sudden it's back down to 6.
Well, you definitely got guys that might struggle at one end of the racetrack versus the other, where the opposite is true for the other drivers. So you kind of see that seesaw. Not totally uncommon. Other battles throughout the field. Alfie Chair in the 34th spot, number 51. Matt Goodell running in 20th, number 85 truck. Keep in mind, we do have a stage break coming at the conclusion of lap 50. Stage point's very important. Justin Johnson up 6 spots, running in the 19th position. Garza Law Firm entry.
So 51's a challenge. Brian Rose in a battle with Medford.
Rose still solidly in the top 10 in the 8th position. He's got the 83 of Brandon Medford down low. Might just let him go here. We'll see if he slides back underneath. He's got the 28 Chris Goins in behind with some new paint on that machine. Thought it said Keurig for a minute, but it looks like it's Krug Tractor. Krug Tractor Supply. David Bradford, number 46, Speed Clinic machine. He's working his way up into the top 10 as well. Started P12.
Looks like he keeps thinking about making a move on the 28 as he does now. We'll see if he can pull this off.
David shifting as well.
There's so many great drivers in this league that, you know, we get a different concept of how they race here, whether it's shifting or not. I mean, we've seen Miller and Blue first and second, both doing it different ways. And David is always fast, and we see he's shifting. So I think everybody's going to have a little different approach.
It's got to make you wonder what it's going to do to fuel economy as well, grabbing that gear versus keeping it in fourth.
I didn't think about that if we get close on a fuel run.
I know we had a lot of cautions here early on, but if this starts to stretch out a little bit, you get long green flag run in the mix. It's going to be interesting to see. You really see how much David gains on the corner exit, though, by having that third gear drive off. David takes the spot.
Yeah, he was able to complete that pass. You know, as these tires get wore, I think that plays into David's hand a little bit more, as he's so good at conserving the tires.
Yeah, David is one that'll certainly frustrate you late in a run. Because you're driving the daylights out of something, he'll just go right on by like you're nothing. Just because he took care of his stuff better. Steve Cherick back in the 17th spot, the 00 Thunderclap entry. Cherick up 23 spots, having a good afternoon so far, only 43 laps in.
Wow, that's pretty impressive here. I think he's getting ready to make a move here. I think he's trying to find the spot to do it.
Right on the back bumper of the 13 of Joe Tucker. This would be for position. You got to give a shout out to Tucker, though. He's up 19 spots as well. Him and Sherrick both big movers here this afternoon.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I don't think that either of them has got into any type of trouble with the cautions we've had. You know, being towards the back, you're more likely to get involved in something, so hats off to these guys.
Well, even through the qualifying, I mean, if you end up starting way in the back, you kind of take it easy, be real conservative on how you run this race. You stay out of the wrecks. Could be the reason why they've picked up a bunch of spots. Obviously, they're quick drivers out here regardless, but certainly pick up some spots based on the wrecks. But there's only a couple of them with those types of numbers. Caution on the speedway. Not sure who this may have been. At this point, I've got nothing indicating why we're under yellow. Should have been lap 50 for the stage, but I've got No indication. Eric, I don't know if you want to go back and look and see what you can find on your end, but I don't show anything. We had a couple of drivers. Oh, man.
I cannot look.
Pits are closed, and we've got guys down pit lane. This is going to be chaos. This could be a big issue. I think a lot of these guys might be down pit lane because they had to stop for fuel. That's my guess. I don't know 100%. I didn't catch what the fuel window was tonight. But just about everybody is on the pit lane. You got Brian McCann, almost the whole field, down to 30th. Millet and Channing Ballou opt to stay out. Now, I don't know if that's... Because this pit lane is so awkward, I don't know if it just opened at a funny time and it caught the top two out while everybody in behind was able to pit. I see Millet and Ballou hitting pit lane. This is very interesting.
Will this be our stage, Steve?
Yeah, either way, this will become our stage caution. Stage was supposed to come out completion of lap 50. We're on 49, so we're certainly going to get to that point before we go back to the green flag. So count this as our stage break. Still just not sure what happened here with drivers taking this opportunity to pit. We're going to have to go back and look here, but we're going to get out of here, take a break. We're going to come back with a restart after this. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phoenix Raceway. Getting ready to go back onto the green flag here. Lap 52 will be where we're at when the green flag drops. A lot of investigating, still unsure what brought us under this caution. No one seems to know. We even checked in with some race admins, and we don't know. It was not an admin caution. It was thrown by iRacing specifically, so hard to say. Nothing triggered on our end, but either way, we're going to go back to the green flag. Also, an update on our leader. That was Millet and Channing Ballou both. Pits opened just as they passed it. They were alongside. Everyone else behind, third on back, able to pit under that cycle of yellow flag stops.
Green flag.
Ryan McCann with a great restart here coming to the stripe. He's going to put 4 tenths back in the 24 of Paris.
Yeah, he jetted out there. That's how you restart. Here's your big Mathis working on the 24 of Paris.
Caution on the speedway. Logan Keys in trouble. Big time trouble here on the backstretch. We got a few trucks involved. Brian Rupert. Let's see, Justin Johnson, of course, Logan Keys. Maybe the 05 here. Noah Rainwater in this as well. Let's take a look. Oh, Logan Keys just on the throttle a hair too early. Overcorrects. Locks it down. Driver's trying to get out of the way. Oh, Millett just barely gets through this. I don't know if there was contact with Beetle or not, but very close to the inside safer barrier. Then you see Rainwater into the mix. Justin Johnson trying to get slowed up. Let's take another look at that one here from the tower.
Them cold tires are always dangerous.
Yeah, looks like Keys just got it loose on corner exit. Had it saved, but then oversaved. It was wise enough to get in the brakes to slow it up. Driver's trying to avoid. Brian Rupert gets nailed in the door. Everybody really just checking up, trying to avoid, and they all kind of get run over from behind because the driver in behind can't see what's happening up ahead, and there you have it.
And the width is not very wide right there.
Let's watch this again from Zach Millett. In fact, let's ride on board with Millett, see what he sees. I'm going to back it up a little bit further. Full speed here for Zach Millett.
Wow.
Sad part is I knew what was going to happen and where it was on the track, and I still didn't anticipate it as fast as he did.
That was some great driving out of Miller.
Unreal. Well, restart going to come here. Brian McCann will still have the lead. Then it's Jeremy Paris, Chris Mathis, Brandon Mefford, Kevin McCann, the top 5. Brian Rose, David Bradford, Keaton Burnett, Chris Goins, Blair Patterson, the top 10. Stay with us. Get ready to go back to the green flag here in just a moment. Lap 57 will be the lap that we do it at. Pace car is off. Again, field needing to work down the back straightaway and through 3 and 4 before we get the green flag.
See if McCann can get another jump like he did. That was a fantastic jump last restart.
Well, I'm sure Paris will be ready for it this time. We'll see what he can manage.
Green, green, green.
Another big jump. Look at that.
Mathis challenging Paris for that second position, and I think he's got it.
Chris Mathis up to P2. Lap 58 up on the board. Number 3, Brian McCann continues to lead. Chris Mathis, P2. 24, Jeremy Paris back to 3rd. Brandon Mefford 4th. Kevin McCann 5th. Battle for position here. Brandon Mefford and actually it was David Bradford for a moment. Bradford now to the inside of the 26, Keaton Burnett. Now looking for a position on Brian Rose. Dives it down deep but backs out. Tucks in behind the 89. This would be for the 6th position. Bradford there at P7. Keaton Burnett crossing over though. He's going to retake the spot, or is he? Side by side with the 46 of Bradford. David still up top. Keaton on the bottom, the number 26. That black and green and white entry on the low lane. Oh, a contact with Bradford and Keaton Burnett. Big time impact. Will Hewitt gets a piece of it as well. We've got all sorts of trouble on the back straightaway. David Bradford quickly goes to the pit lane. That was a big one.
Yeah, it happened so fast, I'm not sure what happened.
Zach Millett looks to be involved in this as well. Slow rolling. May not make it back to the pits. Going to be hard to see.
I can tell you what, after the pit ordeal with Millett, he is going to be fired up.
He's going to be hot. That's for sure. Yeah, he's in trouble. David Bradford in the pits here. Let's get a look at it, see what we can see. Again, it was Bradford and Keaton Burnett. Right now, you see David Bradford to the inside. Keaton Burnett, that white, green, and black truck just behind. This is down the backstretch, going down into turn number 3. Again, with David down low, Keaton tries to get a big run here, and he does get a big run, but he crosses over down to the inside. May have surprised David at the left side of his truck. See Chris Goins there tucked in behind. In fact, let's see what it looked like from Chris's perspective. He's going to get the bird's eye view of it. That's not even it.
Yeah, I think it's coming right here, maybe.
There we go.
There it is.
Yep, big time. Backing it up again here. Let's get a better look. So Keaton gets to the bottom, slides up the racetrack, and he's absolutely just going to run out of space and get into the 46 of David Bradford. Turn him hard into the inside wall. Big time impact for Bradford. Both trucks going to slide up in front of traffic. Keaton Burnett is going to get drilled here by Will Hewitt, or is he? Just a little bit, but then chain reaction crash. Chris Goins certainly in it. The 23 machine as well. Clapper gets on through, and you see Millett. He gets a big giant piece of it as well. Backing this up a little further, let's see how it looks for the 315. He sees it developing early. He goes way low on the racetrack.
He's out of the throttle.
Big time. You see it. I mean, he's trying to get through. Will Hewitt just comes down, tries to change direction, and Will just bounces off the wall. Honestly, I mean, it's tough to say, and it's in that moment you got to make those decisions. But if Millett had stayed in that low lane, I think Will may have bounced up the racetrack enough for him to avoid. But
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Too little, too late. Justin Johnson sliding into the frame as well. Mark Truxell involved. He kind of hits another impact for Millett. Tough break for a lot of drivers in this one.
Yeah, and I think I was talking about it earlier. Just the width of the straightaway there makes it hard.
Well, we're going to go back to the green flag once again here. It'll be lap 64. We are just about past halfway. McCann's going to have Chris Mathis to the outside now. We'll watch and see if Mathis can get the restart here on the 3 of McCann. Both these drivers certainly talented. Mathis a little rusty, though. He's been out of the game for a little while, but restarting in a good spot here. Green flies, McCann in the throttle right away. Catches everybody sleeping.
McCann's got them restarts down to a T, as Parrish may be able to clear Mathis here. Mathis scraping the wall there a little bit as he drops back to 4th position, and he's getting challenged for it.
Mathis with the 83 of Brandon Mefford to the inside. Kevin McCann has gone on by. That's certainly one that's going to be hard to get back. Paris into the 2nd spot. Mathis crossing over on Kevin McCann to the inside now, trying to take that position away. Paris slides up. A little bit of a pick between these two. Contact between Kevin McCann and Chris Mathis. He takes full advantage of that. The 24, Jeremy Paris, kind of throwing the block inadvertently on the 42, but gives a position to Chris Mathis up into the 2nd spot. Paris on the challenge, coming back, trying to take it away. Kevin McCann, same story. The 83, Brandon Mefford into the picture as well.
What racing there. I think the 24 was doing everything he could to keep that 2nd position, and it almost turned out bad, but these guys done a great job of keeping everything under control. And Mathis able to go from 4th to 2nd in a lap. Ooh, here comes McCann battling with Paris again for that 3rd position.
Kevin McCann on the bottom, Jeremy Paris up top. Close quarters action here at Phoenix Raceway. 67 laps in. They dive it down into turn number 3. McCann with a nose out in front. Paris going to battle back on the high side, carry a little bit of momentum. Meanwhile, Brandon Mefford in behind. He's watching it all unfold.
I'm sure Mefford's wanting to get up there and stick a nose underneath Paris. That way maybe he would be able to get an easy look on him for that 5th position.
Mefford way loose on entry. You heard the right rear slide when he got in the corner.
He's gonna try to get there. Ooh, don't touch him. That was close.
Kevin McCann just barely slides off. They all get in the fence off the corner.
Harry's going, ooh, got a little loose there, but able to battle for the 3rd position with McCann. Looks like they may have settled down for just a moment. I know Zach, Miller, and Blue had the pit lane incident, and Blue's already worked his way back up to the 8th position.
Well, Millen, of course, involved in that last big wreck down the backstretch. So right now it's Brian McCann, Chris Mathis, Kevin McCann, Jeremy Paris, and the 83 of Brandon Mefford. That's your top 5. Brian Rose up to 6th. Then it's Neil Quick, Channing Ballou, Blair Patterson, Steve Cherrick. Big mover tonight, up 30 spots into the 10th position so far, having a solid night.
McCann's going to be battling Mathis for that 2nd position here.
Sure is.
Lap now.
All over the tailgate of the 54.
Mathis shot back to the front quick. I just wonder if he maybe got his tires too hot. McCann was able to kind of reel him in now.
Here Mathis grabbing a gear as well, mid-corner.
Chris Mathis, definitely someone to watch. I mean, when I first started my first league, it seemed like him and Bobby Hamilton Jr. and David Bradford were all, the top dog for that league. Can's trying, he can't fight up that high side run coming out of the turn.
Kevin's quick, but he just can't seem to find the way around the 54 of Mathis. He's switching it up, maybe looking to the outside.
I think that's why Chris has been able to defend, is the run off the turn. So maybe he's going to try to get a nose to the outside and get that run.
McCann to the bottom here, shortcuts the dog leg, gets alongside Mathis. Is it enough? Down into turn one, it won't be. Kevin's got to really get on the binders there to keep the truck underneath him.
Kevin May got his tires a little hot there. Looks like Mathis is safe for now.
The thing is with Mathis is he scrapes the wall there on the right side on the corner. Is he's been able to defend without pushing too hard. I know it has allowed McCann to stretch out his lead to about 1.3 seconds. But Mathis has been able to hang on to that second spot without overheating the tires. Still only got about a half truck length back to Kevin McCann. Kevin will kind of regroup and try to find a way around as well, as you see a little bit of a wiggle on corner entry for the 42.
Mathis doing a good job right now, holding it up and getting these composure back and running good, clean second place.
Definitely solid. But unfortunately, he's kind of just maintaining the gap between himself and the three of Brian McCann. Of course, he wants to hang on to this second spot as long as he can, but you want to try and push your way closer to that leader, see if you can put on a challenge. Only have that one halfway break, so to speak, that one stage break in this race. So it's going to be kind of all out from here to the checkered flag. If we get a caution, it's going to be due to an incident. Can't really plan for it.
I did not talk to anybody about fuel strategy. Can they go the whole way, or are we going to see some green flag stops?
Now, if we stay green from really the stage all the way to the end, they're going to have to stop. And I know the race admins kind of went a little bit, I guess you could say, aggressive on the strategy that's going to be required to make it on one stop. It was going to be tight regardless, but I think these guys are all going to have to make at least one stop, especially if we stay under the green flag. Now, if we get a ton of cautions and everybody kind of gets into their own issues like we had early on, well, that may change things. But as of right now, it looks like at least one stop going to be required for everyone out there. Ryan Rose still up into the 6th position, solidly in the top 10. He has yielded a spot, not to Neil Quick. Correction, it looks like he's still holding that spot over Neil Quick. Channing Ballou in P8, Steve Cherrick 9th, up 31 spots. Logan Keys runs 10th, up 1 position. Still solidly in the top 10.
I know, talking to him, this is not one of his favorite tracks, so I'm sure he's tickled to death with sixth place right now and hoping he can bring it home in the top 10, maybe top 5 here. All these drivers, you know, they have their go-to tracks and their favorites, and some that they just don't like, and I think that's one of Brian's right here. He just don't like his track, but he's running good.
Sometimes it's a matter of just, take what the truck's going to give you, take what the track is going to give you. And in this case, Brian Rose hanging in there in the 6th position, still a solid run regardless. If he can come out of here with the top 10 in general, consider it a victory. It's a solid night for the 6th. I'm sorry, the 89. I'm the 6th. What am I talking about? McAdell back in the 18th spot here. Goodell, the number 85 Ford F-150 Nitro entry. Coming up on the 34. Ryan Rose closing back in on effort here, trying to make this a battle for position.
Our 2 picks are right behind Brian, running 7th and 8th. Or no, I'm sorry, you got Chris Matthews. My mistake.
I was gonna say my pick's running P2.
I was thinking of last weekend.
29 truck high up the track, not into the fence though. It's going to open up the door for Brian Rose to sneak on by. That is the number 29 machine. That's Chris Elliott. Not a lead lap machine. Elliott running back in the 24th spot. Well, while we've got a long stretch of green flag here, we're going to step aside and take an HBR TV side-by-side break. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Millett might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway. Brian McCann continues to lead his advantage over the 54 Chris Mathis, 1.4 seconds. Then it's brother Kevin McCann, then the 24 Jeremy Paris and Brandon Mefford, the top 5. Pit stops likely coming sooner than later here with just over 25 laps remaining. Drivers are going to need to make at least one stop to finish out tonight's event. Again, even with the cautions, there haven't been too many since the start of this final stage. The first half certainly filled with a bunch of cautions. Again, cautions breeding cautions, and that's kind of what we had to deal with, but been pretty solid quite some time. Eric, what are your thoughts as far as how we progress through the rest of this race? Strategies, as we do see one driver down pit lane. I don't think it's a lead lap truck. In fact, it's Doug Wysocki.
Yeah, I think that the way it's looking, the way these guys are running now, we may not see another caution, and what that means is you have to make sure you nail your pit stop. I mean, McCann has a 1.5 lead right now, but I mean, one little hiccup on pit road and he could be, 2 or 3 seconds behind on the rotation of pit stops.
16 trucks currently still on the lead lap. First truck 1 lap down is Eric Beadle. He'd be the recipient of the lucky dog if we were to get a caution. In fact, he is now just in front of, it looks like Chris Mathis. Kind of slowed the 54 considerably into 3 and 4 here. Chris is going to try and find a way around and not lose too much ground to leader Brian McCann. Gets to the backside.
Ooh,
don't know if he
that?
helped him a little bit. Don't know if there was some contact there, but Chris certainly impatient trying to get going. Didn't want to give up that. He's lost almost 6/10 of a second to Brian McCann in the last couple of laps. Certainly impatient trying to get moving here. I don't say that I blame him.
Yeah, seeing a little bit of aggressiveness out of the 54 Mathis there. That was a get out of my way, I'm coming through
Time
shove there.
to go. He really can't afford it. With a guy like Brian McCann out in front, you cannot chance it. You have to go. There's no time to make any mistakes. There's no time to try and pass lap trucks. You have to get moving and at least maintain the gap, if not close down and shrink it. But here it is, 2.1 seconds back to Chris Mathis. Mathis in second spot, still healthily over Kevin McCann, but I don't see him closing back down on Brian anytime soon. Pit stops may have a factor here as he closes in now on Eddie Rose. Eddie goes top side here, way out of the way. Kevin McCann's next to go around the 88. Oh, almost contact. That's going to slow Kevin considerably. Some lead lap trucks now down pit lane. Alfie Charon was the last truck on the lead lap. Justin Johnson in the pits as well. Mike Fahey also in the box, 4 tires and racing fuel.
Fahey pretty clean, had a little bit of damage to the left side.
Any race that Fahey can finish is a good race.
Just ask Tristan.
We kid because we care, Mike. Alfie Charon down and away. Now Chris Mathis from the top 2. He's in pit lane.
Chris may be trying to get the fresher tires earlier to make some time up on McCann.
Chris Mathis trying to work the undercut here. Brian McCann, though, he's not wasting any time. As soon as Mathis came down, it pulls Brian McCann to pit lane. Now 83 of Brandon Mefford, your new leader.
I think Mathis took 2.
Very well could be the case. Mathis 10.8 seconds in the box. That was a 2-tire stop. Big time gamble. We'll see if it pays off. If anybody can do it, it's Chris Mathis. Brandon Mefford now down pit lane. He's going to give the spot to Thomas McMullen here when Thomas comes back around. New leader, lap 20 to go. McMullen in the 02 Saints of Speed, number 02 Chevy Silverado out in front. Again, McMullen's going to need to pit here as well. His last stop came at lap 60. Got to be running on fumes here at this point.
He's getting some bonus points and praying one of these guys coming out pit road may mess up and bring out a caution.
Thomas still running the superior class auto racing colors. Come on, Thomas, get with it.
Are you in charge of his paint schemes?
I am not. Thomas is I think a Splash and Go graphics guy, I'm pretty sure. As he peels off the racetrack, make his final stop of the evening. From the lead, that's going to yield it to the 85 of Matt Goodell. Caution on the speedway. Steve Cherrick in trouble. You see him in the background there. I think that's the 00 trying to find him here to get a camera on Cherrick.
I think Thomas just drives through here.
No, if he made it to pit lane, he pits.
He pits? Okay.
I would. Yeah, if you get in the pit lane as the caution comes out, there's no sense in driving through. There's no penalty to take your service. You're already there. All right, so Steve Cherrick here. Let's see what happens. The 00 F-150 Thunderclap machine. Looks like he's all by himself. Might have been on fresh tires. In fact, yes, pit last lap 105. So he had just finished his pit stops. So cold tires, yeah, you see it there. Just loses the rear end under power. Slides it up the racetrack. Does he get the safer barrier? Maybe just kisses it. No, gets back in the throttle. Caution comes out, though, because he almost was going to hit Noah Rainwater. I think that's teammate, the 05, I'm pretty sure. That's essentially what triggered the caution. I think if Cherrick had stayed up in the high line, it maybe would have stayed green, but tough to say.
I think if he wouldn't have spun, taken back off, we may have stayed green, but looks like when he got back in the throttle, it looked like it was going to turn him.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, the yellow lights, we saw it in the replay there, they came on when he was in that high groove. It's just, I don't know if it just calculated based on when teammate Noah Rainwater was coming. They anticipated a contact there. Again, it's all a mathematical equation here for the sim. Tries to figure things out so you kind of avoid those types of incidents with contact after an incident. They'll throw the yellow to try and prevent further problems, but it is what it is. But look at this. New leader, Chris Mathis, out in front with 2-tire change, but with 4 tires behind him. It's Brian McCann. However, Jeremy Paris, 2-tire stop as well. So the top 2 are going to be on right sides only. Brian McCann, who's been fast all night long here, he's out there with a set of 4. No real track position advantage for Chris Mathis at this point. It did get him the lead.
I mean, you got to think of the number 9 Blue, too. I mean, he was up front all night and then unfortunately had the pit closed then open issue with Zach Millett. So I would watch out for the number 9 here. I mean, he was quick early and he's worked his way all the way back to 5th now.
Well, looking at Blue, though, his stop was 11 seconds, so that's right sides only. And another driver that we didn't necessarily expect to see up here in this top 5, Eric Beadle, the 119 truck. That thing is beat to hell, and he's still having a solid night, but he's 4th. He had a 40-second stop back at lap 60, so I don't know what he's trying to gamble here, but he's going to have to pit before he can make it to the end of this race. I'm surprised he has stayed out even through this cycle of yellow flag. Maybe he's close on fuel. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it or not, but he's going to be at a severe disadvantage on tire strategy. He's the only driver still on the racetrack to have pit that long ago. Again, Eric Beadle is more of a dirt racer than anything else, so this could be a learning experience for the 119.
Yeah, I think that's who Chris Mathis kind of gave a shove out of the way to while ago.
Yes, it is. Wave around trucks corner. What's going on with Chris Mathis? Chris Mathis pulls to the inside and stops on the racetrack. What is going on with the 54? And he is having major issues.
Maybe a steering wheel issue.
It certainly seemed like it. The truck just took a hard left. He jams on the brakes. Again, Mathis, that was from the lead. Now, I want to say this, and I like Chris Mathis, so I'll preface it with that. But there was a race that we ran in the Next Gen Cup car in Scar where we were running at the Glen, and I was having a good night. I was up in the top 2 leading. It was me and Chris Mathis coming to a restart. This green flag comes back out. But Mathis, I don't know if he spilled his beer or what coming to green, but he didn't maintain his speed under the caution flag, so I just went. Well, I got a black flag for jumping the restart because he wasn't there. But looks like this time he didn't maintain his speed, and he's going to unfortunately face the consequences of it. Mathis back into the 12th spot. I don't know if it was related to a spilled drink this time, but maybe a mechanical issue with some of his hardware back at home. Tough break for Chris Mathis, but the caution comes back out once again.
Well, you sure you got your release?
I don't see what's triggered this one either. You got anything on it, Eric?
I do not.
Jeremy Paris ended up in pit lane here, but that was prior to the yellow.
So I just done a little in-pit reporting, and Chris Mathis's wheel disconnected. So that's the issue he had.
Kind of seemed that way because, again, the truck did take a hard left to the infield. He was able to get on the brakes to not hit anything, but tough break for Chris Mathis. As all that track position gained from the 2-tire stop, he has lost all of it. He's back in the 10th position, 14 seconds back. Of course, he'll make some of that up through this caution. 9th of the day, by the way.
I mean, at a track like this, that's going to be tough, especially with some of these guys on 4 tires and you on 2.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look at the top 10 right now, who he's going to have to pass. He's got Neil Quick. Brian Rose has been no slouch tonight. Eric Beadle, he's out there struggling, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to make it. And I'm not picking on the guy. He hasn't pit since lap 60. Then you've got the 85 of Goodell, then the 83 of Mefford, then Blair Patterson, the 91. Then you've got Kevin McCann, Channing Ballou, and Brian McCann. Those are your top 3. If you even make it there, man, even with 4 tires, it's going to be tough to get around those guys. There's just no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, I mean, when we go back green, what are we going to have? Maybe 6, 7 laps?
We could have 7 or 8. It just depends. I think we could potentially get the 1 to go the next time by. Or 2. It's going to depend.
I think Beadle's just gambling that this is going to be another caution and he's going to be able to coast to the top
And that
10.
could be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Beadle self-admittedly, he's a dirt guy. He doesn't really do a whole lot of asphalt racing, and here he is at Phoenix with honestly a group of guys that are pretty damn fast, and he's up here riding in the top 10. Started 27th here tonight. Truck is a little worse for wear, but he's getting by with it.
You know, Brown's got some similar colors there.
Pace car lights are off. We're going to go back to the green flag the next time by. It'll be 8 laps to go.
The number 9 all the way back up to 2nd now.
Pace car pulls off. Brian McCann with another good jump now over Channing Ballou. Channing tried to time it best he could, but to no avail. Kevin McCann He's going to tuck in behind his brother here a little bit, a few truck lengths off the back bumper of the 3, but no, Kevin McCann slides up a lane, Channing Ballou crossing over to the bottom, looking for the position out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway.
With the McCanns both on the inside, first and third, do you think maybe they had that planned?
Very well could be, and that's the thing with these two is they're both excellent drivers to begin with, but man, if you get them together on the racetrack, it's even worse. It's very difficult because they work so well together.
I'm sure they both want to win this, and I know the 42 is going to give the 3 all he has if he can get there.
Brian McCann with the lead. Kevin McCann closing in under 0.2 of a second. It's a truck length between the 3 and the 42. Both drivers with 4 tires on the final stop of the day, so equal footing for both of these two. 5.5 laps to go down the back straightaway. Brian and Kevin 1 and 2. Channing Ballou in P3. You've got the 83 of Brandon Mefford and Blair Patterson, the top 5.
Looks like they may be starting to check out a little bit from Blue and Medford.
Battle for position for the 3rd spot. Mefford and Ballou battling it out. The 9 down low, that's Channing Ballou. Mefford, the 83 up top. Door handle to door handle, out of the corner, across the stripe. Ballou's going to have the position here with 4 to go, but for how long? Mefford strong on the outside, seems to be a good position to defend from. Ballou drives it in deep, grabs a gear, drops it down to the bottom, gets that truck to rotate, puts the power down on corner exit. Still alongside, little wiggle for the 9, almost contact with himself and Mefford, but they continue to battle down into turn 3.
Blue doing all he can. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think Mefford's going to get the run here, and he does.
Mefford's
so
got him clear.
That took up a lot of time. I mean, they went from 0.9 of a second to almost a second and a half.
Crossover coming.
Yeah, Blue's still trying to battle. I know Mefford's probably wanting to be single file. That way he can run faster and try to have a shot at the McCann brothers.
Keep a close eye on this battle. It's allowed Brian Rose to close the gap on the top 4 as well. Mefford and Channing Ballou as they continue to battle. Rose in the 5th position, starting to get closer and closer. Mefford realizing it as well. He's starting to check out slightly on Ballou. A couple of truck lengths between himself and the 9, but Rose has closed the gap. Ballou likely with some hot tires. Will Brian Rose try and take advantage and steal this spot away?
He better go. We're coming to the white flag right now.
White flag in the air for Brian McCann. Final lap of the afternoon. McCann started in the 3rd position. He's been fast all night long. Had to battle with Zach Millett there for a while until Millett had an issue with pit lane and the caution coming out. We don't even know why. But since then, Millett into an incident. McCann, same old story. Still out near the front of the field as he works into 3 and 4. Brother Kevin out the back window. Off turn number 4. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag here at Phoenix Raceway. Brother Kevin is 2nd. Brandon Mefford brings it home P3. All 3 of these drivers tying into the IROC Series. Great win here for the 3 of Brian McCann.
When in doubt, go faster. Great job by Brian. Really didn't hear much from him early in the race. He just stayed consistently in the top 5 and was able to bring home the win. Something about seeing a black number 3 do donuts brings back memories.
I don't remember Dale doing a whole lot of donuts, but certainly a lot of wins.
Well, he just scratched the whole side of it.
Had to door up his brother there as he crosses the stripe once again here post-celebration. We're going to jump out and get our break out of the way here. We'll be back with our top three after this. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phoenix Raceway, race number 3 of the No Bull Racing Series, the Phoenix 125, won by Brian McCann, first win of the season. Let's get a word with the driver of the black number 3. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Brian, it's Steve and Eric in the booth. You got a good copy?
Hey, I do. How's it going?
It's going well, Brian. Long time no talk to. First of all, congratulations on the victory here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. What was the plan coming into tonight? I know tire strategy can really play a big part. You had a lot of pace out there, and we had a bunch of cautions early. What did that do to your strategy throughout the rest of the race?
Strategy at the front, beginning of the race was just survival. I wasn't even thinking about the win. I was just going to get out there and follow somebody, and as long as our speeds were about the same, I wasn't going to try anything too heavy. So luckily some shuffling got around there, some pit stops, and I found myself in the lead. And unfortunately, the leader there, one of those restarts, had, I'm assuming, issues with his hardware, and dropped off the track, and that moved us up one spot. So I think that's probably what helped me out a whole lot.
We're certainly looking forward. That was Chris Mathis that had a mechanical issue with his wheelbase late in that restart. I think he battled back to 11th spot, but it would have been fun to watch you guys battle it out. You with 4 tires, him with right sides only. Got to ask about that. There was some varying strategies across the board on that final stop. Some took 4, some took 2. What was the reasoning for taking 4? Of course, it worked out. You took the checkered flag.
Well, we had about 20-some laps left when we went in for that green flag pit stop, and I knew that taking 2 was just going to be extremely hard to drive. And yeah, you could have got some seconds out on the track and whatever, but with 20 more laps to go, I wanted to get 4, especially with the caution coming out, which it did. I wanted to have those 4 sets of tires.
Well, it certainly worked out for you. A strategy that ends in a victory is the right strategy, so congratulations on the win here tonight. Going into next week, I haven't even looked. I think we've got Super Bowl next week, so we may be off. Taking a look at the schedule.
We are
off. Next race is going to be Bristol, though. Certainly much smaller quarters than we had here at Phoenix tonight. 150 laps at Bristol. What are your thoughts rolling into the High Bank short track?
I like Bristol. I'm moderately fast at it, but I'm going to have to start in the back after the stage, so maybe I'll just go out there and try to get the stage points and then see what happens after that.
Well, Brian, either way, good luck to you. Thanks for chatting with us. We're going to let you slide here. Is anyone want to shout out to before you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to shout out to my family, Kevin behind me for not wrecking me. You know, you guys for doing the broadcasts, our sponsors, everybody watching tonight. Thank you.
Brian, congratulations, man. Good luck in 2 weeks at Bristol.
Thanks.
It's Brian McCann, your race winner here at Phoenix. Next, we're going to pull up old brother Kevin, second place finisher here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. Kevin, it's Stephen Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Got you once again here. Congratulations on a second place finish. I don't know if you heard your brother's interview, but he did throw a thank you out for not wrecking him. Tell us about your race, strategies involved. You certainly had plenty of pace here late, turned up the afterburners. We got close to the conclusion of this thing. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I just I didn't have the short run pace those guys in the top 5 had, so I had a pretty bad qualifying. Started about 10th, so I knew I had the long run pace, pretty good at tire saving. So, you know, if we got those long green flag runs, I knew I'd be able to make some moves, and that's what I did. I was able to just chop away at them slowly and put myself in a pretty good position there at the end. And you know, with those late race cautions, looked like me and Brian got the strategy right there, taking 4 tires.
So I was going to ask you about that. We asked Brian as well, the option to take 4 tires. We did see Channing Ballou take 2. He managed to still bring it home P4. But there was a few guys that opted to gamble slightly, Chris Mathis being one of them. Of course, he had his own issues with the wheelbase failure on his end. But tell us what the decision was as to why 4 versus 2. What was the benefit?
Well, we thought there was enough laps that if we stayed green, whatever, you know, delta they would make, only taking 2, we'd be able to catch up with them. The pace difference was going to be pretty massive. 2 tires here is pretty tough to drive. I mean, it's loose as hell, you know, on 4. So, you know, we thought there was enough laps, and then especially when the caution comes out, it's just going to bunch us up, and we knew the pace difference. You know, there'd be no way. It would take a Hail Mary to be able to hold off 4 tires there at the end.
Well, certainly made the right decisions here. Again, started 10th tonight, brings it home in the 2nd spot. Moving on to Bristol here in a couple of weeks. You know, Brian says he seems to like the place. How do you feel about it?
Bristol's, I feel like it's just like Daytona, you know, it's kind of gambling, especially with 43 guys out there. So, you know, I think it's going to be a lot of excitement, and I think it's going to be, you know, whoever can survive can bring it home.
Certainly looking forward to it. Kevin, again, congratulations. We're going to let you go. Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to all the guys put on the leagues here, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
Kevin McCann, your 2nd place finisher here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. Next, we're going to hold Brandon Mefford, our 3rd place driver, into the booth and get a word with Brandon. Brandon, it's Stephen Eric in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a solid copy?
I do.
Brandon, congratulations. A P3 finish. Again, it's so hard to come by in a league like this with so many fast guys, but it seems like the IROC contingent, or at least some alum, performed pretty well here tonight. All three of you guys in the top three. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, my night started off kind of embarrassing. I was, up there in the top 5 or 6 in practice, and then I just had a terrible qualifying. It put me P16, but, I just kept the truck clean. Tried not to get myself in any positions that was going to tear the truck up and not allow me to, be there at the end. So, kind of got lucky, dodged a few bullets. A couple guys had some issues that were probably faster than me, but top 3 with this group of guys, I'm gonna count that as a win.
Well, Brandon, it was certainly entertaining to watch, especially the battle you had with Channing Blue there late in the running. Looked pretty clean, certainly aggressive, but a fun one with that. Next week, 2 weeks from now, we roll into Bristol Motor Speedway, Thunder Valley, if it were. It's going to be interesting to see with this many trucks on that small little racetrack. Hopefully we can get some good racing in, but what are your thoughts rolling into Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol's one of those tracks that you love, but you can't stand to drive. It's fast. We're pretty good there, but everybody in this league is going to be good. So it's going to be, probably a dogfight. I mean, nobody's really given a lot here because everybody's so fast. Every position means something. So, I hope it's a clean race. But my plan is going to be to get out front, somewhere in the top 5, and ride and have a chance there at the end to go for the win. But that's going to be a tough task.
Qualifying certainly going to be important to get near the front on the beginning, but you catch lap traffic so fast with this many trucks out there, it's certainly going to be a game of survival. Brandon, again, congratulations on P3. Thanks for talking to us. Before we let you go, who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out everybody at No Bull Racing. The guys put together a great league and, stout group of drivers here. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to everybody over at IROC. Glad we got to show out one race this year, 1, 2, 3. That's pretty phenomenal from our little group. And then my charity motorsports teammates and all the charities that we race for in Zoe's Place, Ellie's Place, Kids Talk. I'm drawing a blank here, but all those charities that we run for, got to thank those and our family for letting us do this each and every night that we get to come out here and do it.
Well, thanks again, Brandon, for talking to us. Good luck in a couple of weeks at Bristol.
Thanks, guys.
Brandon Mefford, your third place finisher. Of course, always some feel-good sponsors on that truck. Those guys do a lot of behind-the-scenes work for all sorts of different kids' charities. Love to be involved with their stuff going forward. I know we tried to get involved this season, just the donation-wise. We wanted to be a part of the broadcast stuff, and maybe that's possible going forward, but we'll certainly be in touch with the Meffords going forward as they do so much great work for, again, children charities. That's our top 3 finishers here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. Let's take a look at our official race results, again, barring any crazy penalties of that sort. Talk to Brian and Kevin McCann, your top 2, then Brandon Mefford. Channing Blue brought it home P4. Brian Rose, a solid top 5 finish. Neil Quick was 6. That's Eric's pick, in case anyone's keeping track. Eric finally got a win out of this. Blair Patterson was P7. Steve Cherick, our biggest mover of the night, up 32 spots. Solid run for the 00. Thomas McMullen, a good top 10, finished P9. Matt Goodell was 10th. Chris Mathis, after having some hardware issues, with his wheelbase, he finishes P11. Mike Fahey, a good finish in P12. Got to give him a pat on the back, up 21 spots, our second biggest mover of the night. Eric Beadle, he gambled, and it paid off. A solid 13th place finish. I know a top 10 would have been like winning this thing, but he stretched fuel from lap 60 all the way to the end with those cautions. A job well done for the 119. Jesse Redding was P14. Logan Keys, 15th. Justin Johnson was 16th. Jeremy Paris, after a solid night, finished 17th. First car, 1 lap down. 18th was Noah Rainwater. Joe Tucker, 19th. Carson Conway, 20th. Doug Wysocki was 21st. Alfie Charon was 22nd. 23rd went to Keaton Burnett. Chris Elliott, 24th. Chris Mefford, 25th. Chris Goins, 26th. Wow, the Chris's all grouped up there. Jamie Kerr was 27th. Eddie Rose, 28th. Mark Thomas was 29th. Jason Spear, 30th. Zach Millett, tough night for the 315. He finishes 31st ahead of David Bradford in 32nd. Will Hewitt, 33rd. Mark Truxell, 34th. Brian Torsha was 35th. Brian Rupert, 36th. Drew Blaze, 37th. Tommy D'Angelo was 38th. Josh Thomas, 39th. Alan DeFries, 40th. Pat Colby, 41st. Vincent Short, our eye in the sky up in the tower, not in the race. Classified 42nd. We'll get that worked out in the future. He can come in as a watch. But 41 trucks tonight. Again, another solid field, 3 races into the season. We keep talking about how it's going to weed itself down and shrink this field, and it's going to get smaller. But I tell you, we're still getting people asking to join. So I think we may have pretty solid fields all the way through this season. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, the whole 9 yards. So, Eric, tell me about your thoughts on tonight. I know Phoenix is always that wild card. It's the short track super speedway is what I like to call it. But I think we had a decent race. We had a little chaos early on, but things kind of smoothed out throughout the course of that second stage. What's your take?
You explained it perfectly. It looked like it was going to be a rough way to go with the cautions. These guys got that lined out and was able to get some good green flag laps in. And then at the end, I mean, early on, we didn't think McCann would be our winner, but that's why you raced to the end, and he was able to take advantage of everything that came his way.
Well, it is what it is. Again, keep in mind, folks, next week we will be off for the Super Bowl. I guess people do kind of like watching football, even though, it might be rigged. It might be rigged. I don't know. It's allegedly rigged.
It's not rigged.
Says the guy who's making money off of it.
I'm just saying, like, how can you catch passes and they're too much into it.
Either way, tune into the Super Bowl next week, but in 2 weeks, make sure you tune in back here at HBR TV for Bristol Motor Speedway here, the No Bull Racing Series, race number 4. They're ticking off in a hurry. If you haven't already done so, please like, follow, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications. YouTube.com/@symbol, the letters HBR TV, and the number 1. That's where we do all of our broadcasting from 99.9% of the time. You may see some posts over on the Facebook side, so follow us there as well, facebook.com/HBRTV1. We won't blow you up with a million notifications. We're very rarely posting. Once in a while, you'll see something oddball, but typically you're just going to see the stream links for YouTube. But it does help us either way across the board, helps the channel, especially those likes. It does help push this to a wider audience so that guys can see it that might be interested, and again, it helps continue to grow the channel. Thank you guys all for watching. We still had some guys in the stream chat tonight. Certainly appreciate you for chiming in. And don't forget, we still had Haley pop in from Sweden. So again, another international broadcast for HBR TV. I know I can't say that enough. It just blows my mind. I'm certainly excited about it. Got to thank Eric Dotson for joining me in the broadcast booth, as he always does here on, well, not Tuesdays anymore, but Sunday nights here with the No Bull Racing Series. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Again, thank you, Eric, for joining us. Tune in 2 weeks. Don't miss a minute of the action. Thanks for watching, folks.